It's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's our goal. Hey, it's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show. Hey,
Dave, I knew we were going to be doing this today, and I knew that you were going to be looking amazing. And I was like going through the closet, and I was like, should I try and match them? Should I pull out some of the classics? And I decided, no, you know what? This is Dave's podcast. Dave is the guest, and I'm not even going to pretend that I can compete. I'm just going to go black t-shirt and go the total opposite way and be the backdrop.
It looks like a quality t-shirt. Like I can tell even through my monitor that it's like one of those really is probably like it's like a $75 t-shirt easy.
Well, I don't like to talk money, but it's a good one.
That's a quality shirt. You can tell like it's just feels nice to put when you pull it out of the drawer or whatever. You probably keep it on a hanger, but you put it on your face because you're like, wow,
yeah,
this is what it's all about.
This is no joke. Yesterday, I actually was online ordering some new fresh teas because that kind of is what the thing that if you're going to go minimal, that's okay, but it can't look like can't be like your dad's tea that he's had for 25 years. You got to kind of keep it fresh. So I re-upped my t-shirt game because this is as casual as I'll get, but I don't want to go casual lazy.
No, and you look very svelte also. Have you been working out?
I have. I've been working out all during the quar. But you tell me about this. This is, and people can only see this from the shoulders down, but this stellar thing that you're wearing, I don't know. I'm saying thing because I'm not even sure what it is. Is it a jumpsuit?
It is a jumpsuit. It's some people call them other things, but I'm not comfortable with. But yeah, I can show you. It's full.
That's amazing.
My whole body is in this thing. I had it. I have had one jumpsuit for a long time, and I don't wear it that often. And then during this, the quarantine, I was like, I need things to get me through it that are going to make me, I needed to pamper myself a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
And so, so there was this, I had, among my many late night searches on the internet, on the list, in the top 10 things that I look around for late at night, jumpsuits are among them, but they're so hard to find the right jumpsuit. So I found this woman, and I'm not even afraid to give away the keys to the kingdom here, because by the time people catch up, I'll be on to something else. You know what I mean?
Jumpsuits will be in your rearview mirror at that point.
Yeah, so I'm not afraid. And plus, this woman does great work, but you go to annaherman.com. This woman in Montana makes these jumpsuits, and I found one, and I'll wear it for when I come back for the next time you have me on the show, I'll wear it. Or I could even, if you have time, I could change into the other jumpsuits during the show.
No, it's okay. Let's spread it out.
Cool. Yeah, let's just, let's give some people something.
We have a lot to get to.
Look for.
Yeah.
But I got one, and it just really made me feel good, and so I ordered another one. And they're not that expensive, you and I are gentlemen, so we don't talk price. Anyone could go online and see what they cost. They don't cost that much. So I said to her, can I get a custom one? And she said, yeah. She's like, just send me the material. So I went online, I picked out this material.
Now that material, for those that aren't watching this and are listening to it, it looks to me like it's got a white backdrop, and then is that purple or gray? I'm not good with colors.
It's like navy. It's a
toile.
A toile. For people that know fabric, it's toile, and it's usually like it's a bunch of vignettes of olden timey people like hanging out,
Yeah,
having picnics and stuff.
it looks like people in the revolutionary times on their day off.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then there's birds and different
And-
things like that.
And like wallpaper, it repeats throughout the jumpsuit.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's what it is. It's basically wallpaper and like couch and curtain fabric.
Now
But I've chosen to cover as a grown man,
yeah,
I am covering my body in it.
right, right, exactly. Now, what is it about the jumpsuit that makes you? You said that you put it on and it feels good. What is it about the jumpsuit that makes you feel good?
It one temperature, top to bottom. Like right now, I'm assuming you're wearing pants. Maybe not.
I am.
Whether you are or not,
I did
Tom.
not. I did not prescribe to this quarantine, no pants. I'm getting away with it by wearing shorts the whole time thing. You know, I try and maintain some kind of decorum, and
You have to.
I've worn pants and shoes every time I'm interacting with people.
I respect that, but
Thank
also, you know, as much as you actually smack some sense into me, because I'm out here in Ohio in this tiny little town that I thought I was coming to for 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and I packed about 2 weeks worth of clothes. That, to break it down in gentleman's terms, is one sport coat, one pair of velvet pants, one pair of jeans, and some workout clothes.
Right.
And some hockey jerseys, because I thought I'll be running around with the dog, and it was March at the time.
Right.
So that's all I had, and so I thought I need some outfits to get me through this, and that's jumpsuits.
Nice. Good. Yeah, because when I checked in with you, you were how do I put it nicely? You look
Don't
disgusting.
put it nicely.
You
I
look
look disgusting.
And
no, you shouldn't.
As the one person in my life who is always inspiring me as far as style and looking good in a comedic rocker sense, it was like it was as if some young boxer came into the gym and saw Ali with a big gut eating some cheeseburgers. When I saw you in a t-shirt, not caring anymore what you look like on the Instagram, I got nervous and I called you right away.
I needed to hear it, because the thing is, like, for me, dressing that like in t-shirts and hockey jerseys and winter hats and things like that,
yeah,
that's my equivalent of when other people dress up in nice clothes to like be fancy. Mine is like, hey, let me pretend I'm a slob. That'll be fun.
Right.
And
exactly.
so I do that just as like a little, fun little game. And I'm like, let me dress like a total slob, and I'll go play with the dog, take the dog to the park. And most people that know me, there are people like you who I would say know me well and know me, in the afternoon and evening.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's people that only know me as the guy who comes into the coffee shop or comes to the dog park.
Right.
Those people think that I dress in track pants and hockey jerseys only.
They have no idea.
Someone got mad at me. Someone who works at one of the coffee shops in New York that I go to regularly, they got Googling, and they said, you dress up in suits and nice clothes all the time, and you come in here like a slob all the time. Like, why don't we deserve the nice outfits when everyone else gets them?
Did they really?
They complained. Yeah, they're like, why don't we get the other guy? Why do we get this guy that comes in here?
Where's nighttime Dave?
Yeah, why don't we get So anyway,
what'd you say to them? I
made it up to him, and I made a point of coming in better outfits.
Nice. Good job.
Because it's not that hard. It's just as easy to put on a nice outfit as it is to put on a bad outfit.
Yeah, exactly. Now, a lot of people know this already, but I did a special called Freaked Out was one of my stand-up specials, and we did a 70s retro style to it, and I actually came to your apartment and rummaged through all of your clothes. Turns out we're the exact same size, and
We're body doubles.
We're body doubles, and I was able to poach everything I'm wearing in that special was yours. And I know for a fact that because we are the same size, and you explained it to me, that there were some pieces in there that you told me I can wear these, meaning yourself, that you said I can wear these as long as I don't eat the night before. If I eat a little bit of food or drink or go out drinking that night, I can't. The buttons are going to be strained on this one. You had to be lean.
Yeah.
You had to be lean to step into. I think it was a plaid suit.
Yeah, I know the one.
So now that you are in Ohio and you are quartered up, do you feel like you'd be fitting into those outfits, or you must be eating a lot of stuff just at home?
Well, I actually, at the time that I would have said that, I've trimmed down a little bit, generally speaking, not to brag, but generally my fighting weight is a little lower now than it was at the time of that special. So,
right.
As is yours, I would say. We were still body doubles. We're both
still body
linear.
doubles. Yeah. Well, when I see that you're starting to lose weight, I start to cut back because I know eventually I'm going to need more clothes.
Yeah, you have to. But I did actually just do a test. I do have one garment here that's very tight, and I put it on this afternoon just to be like, it's because it's a good barometer to be like, am I putting on a lot of weight? And I put it on, it was fine. So I was like, no, I'm not doing all right. But this is the thing that's exciting about the body, that fact that we are body doubles or twins, body alikes,
doppelgangers,
is that we'll both always have work, because one of us will always be at the top, and let's be honest, that's probably always going to be you, Tom. But I can always get that body, like when you need a stand-in, when you need clothes, whatever.
Right.
That's when I strike.
Now, the thing, you and I cross paths also in a culinary sense in two pretty big ways. One is, we've done a lot of shows together, and we've hung out at the Comedy Cellar and the Olive Tree and done all that stuff a lot. And we always go for a cocktail at the end of the show, like gentlemen. We appreciate the great cocktail done the right way. And then the other way is that we also are in love with the same Italian restaurant in New York.
Yes.
Which would you like to talk about first?
Gosh. Well, let's talk about the cocktails.
Okay.
And that's a good I feel like that's the right order.
I do too, because that's right. The main course, right? Cocktail before the main course.
And I'll tell you, as a button on at the last Come to Papa that I did, I won't use it as a button. I'll just come out of the gate with it. I had a couple friends come to the show from Canada, and after the show, I said, "There's two things that we could do right now. Both of them will be amazing." After the show, I said we can go over to Olive Tree and have a great drink with Tom and whoever else is hanging out. Or I know this other place will be more quieter and probably like their last call. And so I said, so I presented them the two greatest things that can happen in New York City. I said, these are your options.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said, this is the best things you can do right now are one of those two things. And just let me know which one you want to do.
And they did not opt for the cocktail because I didn't see.
They did not. I think that the mystery of the way I presented the restaurant to them, it was more like, ooh, what could he possibly be talking about?
Yeah,
Whereas I
get it.
just said,
Yeah.
so they did
now,
opt for that.
a lot of times you have two bents. A lot of times, well, three, I would say. You martini,
Mm-hmm.
vodka martini, straight up, very dry with olives,
Mm-hmm.
and scotch, like a very peaty kind of Lafroig kind of a Lagavulin scotch,
Yeah.
and then the red wine when you're getting too trashed.
Yeah, that's just a placeholder beverage.
Right, exactly.
That's just for maintenance, like just to kind of keep me
Yeah,
at a level.
that's I don't want to go home yet, but if I drink any more martinis, I'm going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna have really intelligent things to say if I keep having.
Yeah. Now the cool thing, and this is when we're, I think, at our, well, I wouldn't say, yeah, maybe at our best, is when the cocktail is respected, and it is a one or two drink affair, which
Yeah.
cocktail hour around the house, on a Sunday night or whatever night, that if you can stop at that one, have that one ice cold martini, take your time with it, have it, sit with it for a bit after, it really is enough. It really is perfect. It is like
Oh.
it sets up the night so perfectly. But the problem is, and this is where we also are the same, at halfway through that first one, you start getting excited.
Yeah, you're like, I don't ever not want to feel like this.
I
How
need
can
more
I?
of these immediately.
Yeah. I do that not every night, but last night's a good example. Because do you find this? I swear, like when I was a younger man, I would drink and then you'd be like, "Oh, that's wearing off." And now I kind of drink and it just keeps, I feel like a few drinks will last me 8 hours.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
like, so so if you do that at night and I wake up at 4 a.m. and I'm just like, oh gosh, those caught up with me.
Yeah.
And so like, yeah, I think one or two is the sweet spot. But the thing that I did last night, which was totally stupid, my girlfriend's mom drinks, and we're staying at her house out here, and she drinks like, some sort of Canadian whiskey
Uh-huh. Probably
called, it's like one of the popular ones.
Canadian whiskey.
Yeah, I don't.
Isn't it like not Four Clovers,
Like
something like
old,
that.
I don't know, like Canadian
Yeah.
Club or Old
Yeah,
Windsor
Canadian
or
Club.
some.
Canadian Club.
And so I was like, oh, maybe I've never tried that. You would think that I
Oh no.
would have tried that, having written a book about Canada. And
Yeah.
so I've had plenty of Canadian whiskey. I've just not had that one. So
And yeah.
I poured myself what I would say is just a little bit on the rocks, but would be considered a full drink by any standard.
Right.
But I was like, oh, that's just some nip. So I had that. Didn't count that as the first drink, even though it definitely was. But I was just like, I just had, so, I had like a shot, 2 shots of that, let's say.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, I have half a bottle of wine from last night. If I don't drink it tonight, it's not going to be any good. I better finish that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's going to go to waste. You better finish it. So I drank that. And then I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then my girlfriend's niece came over to sit like, 20 feet on the lawn and chat.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I guess I better go crack a beer open for this one. So, but that's like off the rails for me. That's
a big night.
What was it? It was Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
and I woke up just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What the hell? I mean, I just can't do it anymore.
I know. Well, we all say that. And then around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you do it again.
Oh yeah. The second we're done, I'll walk downstairs and make a martini without question.
Right, exactly.
I'll
Now
be like,
this
oh, learn a lesson. Nope.
Nope. Yeah, that feeling so bad when I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night and waking up the next morning is so far removed by the end of the day.
Oh yeah.
But if you can, this is again, if you can do that one martini, if you do that one, and then just go have your dinner and just have some water and go into the night, you don't feel that the next day. And you do feel the good buzz the whole time if you can just stop for a second. But it's tough to
Yeah.
do.
It's a lesson. It's a hard, yeah, it's very tough to, especially, as we've been texting about recently, the garlic stuffed olives, which
Oh
are,
boy, game changer.
oh my gosh.
Boy, oh boy, you really blew my head off with that one because I've been making these and making them well for a long time. I'm really good at them. And to the point where I use the bartender at the Olive Tree as a puppet to make the martini that I want to make. Right? You've been with me many times where
Yes.
they've been sent back until they get
Oh yeah,
until they get it
it's
right.
tense. It's tense, but it has to happen.
And Liz at the Comedy Cellar, she actually did olive shopping to make sure that I had the right olives, because there's nothing worse than being in a place that's not really a fine drinking establishment, and they give you those mangy little cocktail olives that have just been sitting on the bar in a stew, and they're tiny
Oh yeah.
and gross and falling apart. There's nothing can ruin a martini more than that. So it's always the big fat olives. Once in a while at a steakhouse, when you're really going nuts, when they give you the fresh blue cheese stuffed olive, that's as far as I would go. And
You put a blue cheese stuffed olive in a martini?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This I am unfamiliar with.
All right. Well, the same way that you led me down this path, I'm going to lead you down the other one. Then now be careful. This is not something to be done out of the supermarket. This is not, this isn't question blue cheese stuffed in an olive on a shelf for 3 years. This isn't going to be the same experience. This is going to be a blue cheese simulation. I know it's pickled. I know technically, but no, don't do it. I've tried. It's a mistake. No, they actually come, stuff it in. We'll use a little tool, stuff it in. Yeah, cut it off. Oh boy, it's pretty heavenly.
So does the cheese affect the flavor of the drink, or is it like a reward at the end of the drink?
It's a reward. It doesn't pollute the drink.
Okay. Yeah, because that was like a cheesy martini. That's
no, it's not like being filled up with Cheese Whiz or anything.
Oh, okay. So, and when you say a dry martini, do you still put vermouth in it?
Yeah, but my technique is dry vermouth in the shaker on the ice, just a couple drops, just a little pour. It can even be just a little bit of a pour. Shake it just once or twice, and then dump it out. And any vermouth that's left on the ice is what's going to end up in the drink.
So no vermouth, basically.
There is a difference. If you just totally skip it, it will be a little too stiff.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you can dump it out, you have it's going to be vodka forward, and you're not going to taste that vermouth has a very distinct taste to it. It's very round, kind of a
yeah.
I don't
that is a good description of it,
right?
Yeah,
not a fan.
Yeah, to be honest, the first few martinis I made here in my lockdown didn't involve any vermouth. It was just vodka. But I was calling them martinis to feel better about myself.
Yeah, it's a little stiff. Yeah. You got to cut the edge off a little bit, and that's what. But you still want it to be dry. You want that dry and super, super cold. That's when it's just, if you have just a tiny sheet of ice, little polar bear ice on the top the advice I got was shake it till it hurts. So
you're physically in pain?
Yeah, where it's so cold that you're like, okay, it's starting to hurt a little bit.
Oh wow. So do you have the proper shaker thing?
Yeah, yeah. Which is
You're
just
doing it.
a tin thing. Why? What do you have?
I have an orange juice glass. I have nothing here. I really have nothing. I use I make it in like an orange juice glass, and I just do what I can.
All right, you're gonna have to give me your address because
Okay.
I'm gonna solve this problem for you. Because
Okay.
normally I would give you fresh baked bread to do this podcast, but being you're so far away, I'm gonna take care of this shaker situation. It's gonna change your life.
Oh, good. This is exciting.
Do
Yeah,
you
'cause I think
stir? Do you ever stir?
I do stir them. Yeah,
You stir, so you're not shaking. You're stirring
I
it.
I tried to shake it once using two orange juice glasses, and that didn't go well at all. It was a
Yeah,
really bad thing that happened.
yeah,
So
that gets pretty sloppy.
yeah, so I just stir.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you shaken.
I want to get on the. I gotta get. I really. I gotta get. I want to get on the bread train though. I guess we'll do
Yeah.
that. When we get to the other side of this.
Okay. Yeah. There's right. Exactly. You should be. You would be good at it. You would be good at it because it takes. You have to be a little. You have to take a little. You have to be someone who's not afraid to take a little time. And
Oh, I'm in.
yeah, you're in. If you've searched on the internet for that jumpsuit, you'll be able to make a loaf of bread.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
so
what you did.
excited.
So what you did for me during this quar, while you're making your orange juice drinks, is you point out something that I have been looking at in the supermarket for years and never pulled the trigger on. I figured there's no way that a garlic clove stuffed olive is going to be should be anywhere near a martini. It's going to be too intense. It's going to be too much. And you sent me a picture and said, "Get on this." And holy cow, are you right?
Oh yeah, it's so good. They were out of them. I went to the grocery store again, and they were out of them. So someone is on to it. I mean, maybe they're not. Maybe they're not using them. They're just buying them. But you would think that they wouldn't run out of them, but they did.
No, it'd be like I picture it you and one other old lady buying them.
Yeah, yeah.
but they're not as intense. Like the garlic isn't that intense. It's
no, it's mellowed.
yeah,
But
perfect.
it's really yeah, I love it.
I got a little tricky putting the toothpick through it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I know I shouldn't be admitting this stuff. I don't even have toothpicks here. I just throw them in. I do have proper martini glasses.
That's
You gotta
good.
give me and I chill them and do all of that.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Toothpicks, it's pretty much a basic though.
It's not that hard. Yeah.
No.
It's really doable.
Yeah.
There's no reason I mean,
It's good. It holds it in place. You double up, you eat the first one, you leave the next one in, it's still adding flavor, but you're not chasing it around the glass like a hamster.
yeah, like a man who's not in control of his life.
Right, exactly. The whole thing about the martini is that you actually feel like you've got it together a little bit.
Yeah, totally. For just a little while.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Half hour. Or however long it lasts.
This is how I know that I've made the mistake when I'm getting too excited and I make the first one and I drink it too fast because it's so good and it works immediately. Is that when I go to make the second one, if I'm fumbling around making the second one, I know I'm in trouble.
Oh yeah, but I mean, then it's like stubbing your toe on the same nail every day. You just do it anyway. The next day it happens again. Then there you are.
Yeah. I saw Stanley Tucci. He got some social media fame during the quarantine because he taught people how to make a Negroni, and he showed everybody how to make a Negroni, and you could tell there were a couple moves in it where he dropped the ice and he fumbled something else, and I was like, oh, he's been drinking. He's not just showing up to make this Negroni. He's drunk right now, showing us how to make this.
Yeah, that's why he got his phone camera out, because he's like, I'm going to show everybody. I'm going to make everyone feel like a king.
The
Negronis
signature.
they're an amazing drink. They're right up there though for drinks that you shouldn't have more than one, and if you have more than two, forget it.
Yeah, exactly. A good summer drink though, with a nice
they're
orange
great.
wedge. Yeah.
I have a friend who makes fun of me still, as well he should, for we were out by my place in New York, and he had like a flight to catch, and we were in a bar right by my house, and we had already had like I don't know how many drinks, and I was like, let's just have a Negroni before we head out. And he's like, well, I need to be in a cab in like 5 minutes to catch my flight. And I'm like, yeah, we'll get the 5-minute Negroni. And he's like, oh, that's actually a really good idea. We just get it and drink it in 5 minutes. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. And he always references the 5-minute Negroni and what a horrible, horrible idea that is. And it is.
Because you're so hammered after drinking it so quickly.
Because to make the decision, you're already clearly hammered. So, and then you've made things that much worse by.
It is a good one though.
It's a good drink. Yeah.
Yeah, a nice little summertime treat. But yeah, that garlic one, I won't do it all the time. But actually, the treat of the martini is that you get this little snack without having to put your fingers in everybody's Chex Mix bowl. And
which is covered in pee.
Yeah, covered in pee.
This way, you just get your own pee-covered fingers in your drink, which is then sterilized by the drink itself.
Right, exactly, and perfect. So I think I'll still go the traditional unstuffed olive, but once in a while, steakhouse, blue cheese, and then in homage. And now I'm in the habit of every time I drink one with garlic, I take a picture of it and send it to you. So
I like that.
Just to keep you updated.
I feel good about it. And it's those little things that get me through these crazy times we're in.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, on the other side of this, Tom and I will be doing this together.
Yeah. And where will we be doing it?
Which brings us to the next.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue.
A little restaurant called Jeans.
Did you get the picture I sent to you? That my friend took? I sent him out to take Tim. You know Tim. I sent Tim out to take a picture of it.
So that was
he's still in New York, and he's been taking pictures of New York during all this emptiness. He's still living there. They haven't gotten out of the city, and he takes these pictures that are thought-provoking and heartbreaking at the same time, because you're just seeing all your favorite places just abandoned. And by places I mean like 6th Avenue. And yeah, like completely empty. But I sent him over to take a picture of one of our favorite restaurants, which is the Old School Jeans. What is that, on 12th? No.
It's on 11th and 6th, just east of 6th. And I called because that was probably the last restaurant I ate at before all this kicked in.
Right.
And it was so close to things being really horrible that when I walked in, I shook hands with Franco, the bartender. And by the time I left, in the hour and a half or 2 hours that I was there, things had already progressed to be that much worse that he fist bumped me when I left. I swear it was because in all the conversations that had taken place, we were like, oh shit, we should not have shook hands.
Oh my God. Well, Jeans is this great old-time red sauce classic Italian restaurant. It's been there forever.
Over 100 years.
Over
101 years.
Wow. And it's funny because it has an older clientele. This is not a place where the dining room is filled with the young and beautiful. To the point when I took my daughter, we lived around the corner from this place when the kids were little, and we would go in there, and my youngest would get a little freaked out because everybody was so old they were scaring her. And And this was
I
just
mean,
unfiltered, just 5-year-old kid. Like, this is spooky.
it's an old. It is the kind of place that probably said to you before, like there'll be if you eat in the dining room, which I rarely do because I prefer the bar, but
Yeah.
there'll be a pause and just a lull across the dining room, and someone will just be like, "Ron died." It's like that kind of place where you go and they'll be like, "Yeah, like the guy that was always there is not there anymore."
Oh, it's
And
terrible. But to be fair, the time we would drag our 5-year-old there was, early. This was the early bird. This was
yeah,
dinner at 5 o'clock kind of a thing. It is a little more youthful when you get past the witching hour of 6:30.
it heats up. It heats up after 6:30. But
But the bar is the best. That is such a cool spot. It's a tiny little bar. How many people does that seat?
I would say like a dozen, maybe.
Yeah,
Tightly.
maybe. Tightly, yeah.
A dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very yeah, I love it. I mean, it's truly that I've called there since I've been out here
Mm-hmm.
in my pandemic bunker. I've called there under the guise of wanting takeout, even though I'm 500 miles away, just because I want to make sure someone's answering the phone. Like, oh, hey. And I went on their website the other day, and they're so I think they'll be okay. I really hope they are.
Were they doing takeout during the?
They were doing takeout. Yeah, I'm not sure if they are anymore. But also a bit of trivia: the original owner of that place was brothers with the original owner of El Quixote, the Spanish restaurant on the ground floor of Chelsea Hotel, which makes a lot of sense because they're both pretty similar.
Yeah.
Vibe.
And El Quixote was a legendary place that was getting a little bit of a facelift recently.
Yeah, well, it was supposed to it was gonna get like reopen as like kind of a new version of itself, but like kind of with a little
cooler.
Kind of just the whole regrooving. But I can't really get into it, but I know the people that were doing it, and it would have been amazing, but I don't know what happened.
You knew the people who were going to take it over?
I knew the people, yeah, but I can't disclose. But I was really excited about it, but I think it's not happening.
Oh, does it rhyme with Matthew Broderick?
Oh gosh, I don't think so. Is it Matthew Broderick?
Is it?
It's Matthew Broderick.
I was trying to trap you.
No. But I don't know. Maybe someone else is doing it now. I don't know. I mean, no one's doing anything.
Yeah, no one's doing anything right now. Oh man, we got to get back.
Well, we'll get to the point of the because the martini with the garlic olives. You were saying this is like jeans in a glass, and I think that's exactly right. But also, and I think we've done this at Jeans, the power move is the garlic bread and then the chicken liver mousse, and you spread that on the garlic bread, which is a really bold thing to do.
It's bold, but man, is it beautiful. Oh man, is that good. That is such a treat. Oh man. That is so, because I think that's the only time I've ever eaten that. I mean,
how else would the stars align like that? I don't know.
I know. Oh man, it's funny when we go there because we're going with the intent of having a good time and eating a big meal, and you go there more frequently on your own, where I'm just rolling into town nowadays and only go there with you, and you can tell like the locals, there's like a little salty crew that sits at that L-shaped bar all the time who you're pals with, older than us, and they get a little disappointed when they don't get their Dave time. They're like, he's busy.
Yeah. Well, it took a lot of work to get to that point where they would though I'll tell you, and this is, I guess this is really my kind of my career in a nutshell, is that a bunch of them came to see me at City Winery.
Oh.
And they were all like saying, like, four of the women that are often there came, and I was so thrilled that they came. And they all said what a great time they had. And then finally one of the women, a few weeks later, Jean's, was like, I gotta be honest, we came and we had a great time, and all the other girls, they loved it. They thought you were so funny, but I don't get it. I don't understand you. I don't know. I know other people love it. I don't get it.
Oh my God. This is
But
the
I
problem. This is the problem with having
loved
70-year-old fans.
I
They'll
kind of
just
love
stay-
that she was just like, you know what? I can't keep this act up anymore.
That
I
is
gotta-
actually better. If you're going to see her a lot at that bar, you'd rather be in that space.
Yeah, because at first she was like, "Oh, it's such a great time," and then she's like, I gotta be honest, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's hilarious. Hey, how's your album doing? You have a new album
My
out.
comedy album?
Yeah.
I think it's doing all right. I need to sidebar probably once we hit. But I think it's doing well.
Yeah.
I think
What's the name of
getting
it
out
again?
there. It's called. I'm glad you asked. The Pride of Cleveland.
The
It's
Pride
out
of
now
Cleveland, right.
on 800 Pound Gorilla Records. It's
Nice.
stand up, and there's a bit of everything. There's stand up and some sweet guitar solos and storytelling.
Nice.
All
The full Dave Hill experience.
the full, yeah, everything. The outfits, it's all there.
That's good. Are you
this
playing?
is-
Go ahead.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh, and weirdly, I know it's been getting played on Sirius a bit, which is great.
Nice.
And I didn't expect this because I'm foul mouthed, but it's on. They've been playing it on the Clean channel, the Laugh
Oh,
USA
really?
channel.
On the Laugh
Yeah,
USA?
which you wouldn't think because of my salty language.
But is it salty in
realized
the album, or it's
not
not?
all of it, no. So they found stuff. And there is. I realize about half of it is totally not dirty talk.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good because they'll use it a lot because they don't have a lot of material for that channel.
Yeah,
Because-
I can work clean.
Yeah, and no one would know any different. Are you playing a
Yeah.
lot of guitar while you're out there? While you're noodling
Yeah.
alone by yourself?
Not as much as I would like, but I think I'm going to really work at it because I think now that I'm sort of, I think that we're going to be in this for a bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to really I need to go running
Uh-huh.
a lot, which I do anyway. And I need to like do things that are like physical, which is running and ripping sweet guitar solos. But
Nice.
I have a couple right over here. I have a couple of guitars that I brought.
Oh, that's good.
And
Good thing
and
you
then
brought them.
Pardon?
Good thing you brought them when you
Oh,
were
I always bring my guitar everywhere, even when I'm not performing.
right. Oh, that's
Just because
good.
like I don't smoke pot and I don't play video games, and I figure I need something to do because those are, as best I can tell, everyone I know does one of those three things
I know.
to pass the time. You have to do one of those three things when you're all alone in a hotel.
Right.
So
what about writing? You've been
I've been writing
cranked
a
out-
lot. Yeah.
You've cranked out 3 books in the last 6 years?
Like I think the first one came out in Tasteful Nudes. The first one came out in 2012, I think.
Uh-huh.
And then
Okay.
yeah, I've had a couple more since then. My
Yeah.
paperback of Parking the Moose, the most recent one, just came out last week, I think.
That before we all got shut down, I called my agent and I said, Dave Hill has written this amazing book that is a love letter to Canada, and Canada has always been good to me. It's time for Dave and I to go up there and do some damage.
Oh,
And-
did you? We got to do that.
I know. And then everything got, put on pause, so we're not able to do it yet. But think about that. Think about the adventures in Martini, adventures we would have going through Canada.
I know that we'll be like, the show will be over, and then we'll be going back. We're like, oh my God, it's so cold. Oh, how are we going to warm up? And then we get our martinis, and it'll happen every night. It'll happen in Winnipeg. It'll happen in Sault Ste. Marie. It'll happen in Halifax. Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. 2021. We'll do it in 2021.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to do it.
You just went this past weekend. You're the first comedian that I know who has gotten on the plane and done shows.
Yeah.
How was that?
I went to do it. I felt like I had to do it. I felt like one of us had to go do it.
Well, you and D.L. Hughley are the only two that I know of.
And only one walked out on his own power.
I know, and I saw that, and I was like, Tom, I have to. I immediately began scouring your social media to make sure you hadn't keeled over. I purposely, this is what a great friend I am, Tom. I purposely did not bother you while you were out there, because I realized everyone is probably bothering him about, hey, what's it like at the airport? And I was like, I'm going to be the guy. I'll ask him later.
Yeah, there were a lot of questions. There was a lot of, what was it like? How did it go? Did you feel weird? What was the performing like? People wanted to know for sure.
Did you have the microphone like 2 feet away from your face?
No, they gave me my own microphone. I had my own microphone. The opening act had his own microphone, and they kept them separated. So I had one mic the whole weekend.
But you didn't wear a bandana over your face, did you?
Nope, neither did the audience.
That's probably, I don't know. I have no medical opinion on this.
Half capacity, spread them out, high ceilings, push back a little bit. It seemed safe. It seemed safe. Yeah, and they were doing all the right things, and they made me feel comfortable. But Utah is a different speed. They were opened up a little more than I've been used to, so it was a little jarring at first. The only uncomfortable part was being at the airport waiting to board the flight, which is normally a bad experience because you're just smushed with all these people who don't know how to behave. And there was a lot of those, like pulling their mask down. And, at one point I was sitting there and it was like, I don't know, 15 people around me. Half of them had their mask just pulled off.
I saw the video that you posted on Instagram and I was horrified. That I immediately
exactly.
Throughout this, I've had a return vehicle on reserve to go back to New York, and I just keep pushing it back. And I saw that Instagram post and I pushed it back like 2 months. I was just like, forget it. No way.
Yeah, they don't know how to act. New York is now one of the safe spots, though. They just issued a thing that if you come from one of the bad states, they're going to make you quarantine because they've got their act together.
I know. I mean, New York, I think if I had not left New York temporarily, I should stress, because I realize there's people that just fled and got rid of their apartments, and I will die at 90 or whatever in New York.
Right.
And if we hadn't left, I would think I would be fine being there now, but hearing how it is, I'm sort of like, I don't really want to rush back to that.
Yeah, and we move in towards August, which is always a rough time in New York anyway. I don't know. I can't help you with that decision. I would imagine you're missing it immensely and want to be there. I just want to, all my hardcore New York friends, except for my brother-in-law and our buddy Tim and Marie, they're the only ones that are sticking it out. Everybody else I know who, are hardcore like you, all split. They all were like, this is getting too intense. I got to get out of here.
It was, we weren't going to leave. And then it was like because I thought it was like an irresponsible thing. I was like, what am I just going to take my disease-riddled body somewhere else,
Yeah.
which is what initially happened. Everyone like went upstate into the Hamptons and
Yeah.
got everyone sick out there. But then I was talking to my brother who works in medicine, and he was like, I would just get out of there and then quarantine for a couple weeks. So we did.
Right.
Like literally no human interaction from the time we left the rental place to 2 weeks after that.
Right.
And then anyway,
yeah, but man,
coronavirus.
if we get, I know, enough already, just enough already.
I know.
Someone's got to fix this thing up.
It's the new, not to diminish anything, but it's the new people talking about 9/11. We'll be talking about coronavirus.
Yeah, I know. Maybe. It was so gross. 9/11 was like this big thing, and you were almost like a hero for surviving it while you were in New York. This one's just like, bleh.
Well, that's what I was sort of like, I feel like, am I letting down New York leaving? And my brother was like, no, you're being one less germy person walking around being germy.
Yeah.
So he's
exactly.
like, if you really love New York, get the fuck out of there.
Right. Yeah.
So
he's right. So
and then right after that, there's like a mobile morgue like block from my apartment. So
yeah, you don't need to see that. And now you're banging around the Cleveland area, and right?
I'm like 50 miles east of Cleveland in this tiny little town. Maybe not. I'm like 50 minutes, 45 minutes.
Right.
And it's this tiny little town where you would pretty much have no idea there was a pandemic going on unless you saw me doing something
with a mask on.
Yeah, like I admittedly, like you'd have to really try to run and come anywhere near a person. So I have it with me, but I go running and biking without it because I literally will not see another human being.
Right.
But
go ahead.
As we're talking though, there's a road, and I could probably throw a rock if the windows were open. There weren't other obstructions. There's people just partying, drinking Bud Light at a bar, like right over there.
Oh, really?
Like nothing's going on. Yeah, totally.
Wow, that's got to be kind of nice, though. Can't you embrace that?
No. I'm not going to. No.
Why? It sounds like they don't have it there.
Yeah, it sounds that way, but no, I'm not giving in to any of it. The more fun I see people having, the more I'm gonna completely isolate myself.
I know. It's so funny to me, the dumb things that people want to get back to doing. Like when they show that picture of people in a pool with other adults just jammed in there drinking at like pool bars in the Ozarks. It's like, of all the things that you're dying to get out of your house to do, that's what you're dying to get back to? Just being another grown-up's pee, drinking beer in the hot sun. Ugh.
The only thing I want, I want to get back to performing and touring and this and that and working.
Mm-hmm.
And then the only other thing I can think of is I want to go to Jeans.
I know, exactly.
I want to sit with like one or two other friends and have a martini, and that's all, and have some garlic bread, and that's really all I'm after. I don't want to go to a pool party.
No, a pool party. My God, I know, or a mall. Like there are certain things that should be corrected. I keep saying like Mardi Gras. It's like Mardi Gras is great. I'm sure it was really amazing in like 1972. But now it's just so like 1 million people just jammed into this tiny space. That's not the way anything should be. Some of these things got too big and too dumb and too out of control. And, I don't know. It's simple. My fantasy is similar to the Jeans one, but mine is an abstract restaurant bar. But I just see myself at a table with a clean, crisp, white tablecloth, dressed nicely with an ice cold martini, the only thing on the table. That's like my nirvana.
that was what you've just described as the Gene's dining room as opposed to the bar area.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, but I don't want to hang it just on jeans. I'll take it anywhere. If you can,
Yeah.
if you get it down the street, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go grab it there. So what are you eating when you're there? Now, the Cleveland is Ohio is a it's a big mix of Germanic heritage. There's that meat and potatoes, Polish influence, pierogi, laden countryside. Is that like the family that you're staying with, and is that the food that you're getting on the outside?
There's a bit. I did buy a giant bag of pierogies just in like the early stages of where I still don't like to go to the grocery store, but I don't know if you did this, but I was just so panicked to go to the grocery store the first few times. I was just like, everyone here is trying to kill me and I need to get out of here. And in that, I grabbed like a giant bag of pierogies. And I think we're almost done with them. But no, I've been eating, a lot of things like ravioli, things that I certainly eat, but like maybe once or twice a year, I now have every day.
Right, exactly. Why is that? Who's making that?
My girlfriend and her mom. It's just, that specifically is largely because I just go to the grocery store and I don't know what food. I don't recognize food unless I can picture it on a plate already. So I buy things like ravioli and pierogi, like for me to look at ingredients that will add up to a meal. That's too abstract for me to go like, oh, if you bought those potatoes over there and then you bought some asparagus and you bought some chicken breast and you I'm an idiot basically. So I just buy ready things to boil.
So what makes you have this desire then to try and bake bread?
Oh, because I feel like ultimately we're only after one object there. We're the loaf of bread as opposed to like baking 5 different things.
Right.
Like my brain can handle that.
Right.
Because I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff and I get nervous looking at your Instagram because I see like there's sourdough, which seems like a little advanced for me. As best I can tell, because there's some overnight aspect to it.
Yeah.
That scares me, frankly.
Yeah.
So maybe that's not an out of the gate bread. But I like the idea of like when you see the big loaf and then there's like a letter or something slashed across it that looks cool.
Yeah, nice country loaf with a design on top.
Yeah, and you could and then you just cut it and eat it with butter. It seems I feel like it's within my realm.
It is the best. I have a feeling I'm a little hesitant to teach you because I'm getting the sense that you're going to be there for a while. I'm getting a sense that you don't like to go out very much. I'm also getting a sense that if I were to teach you how to do this bread, there's a really good chance you're not going to fit in that jumpsuit.
That's a concern. Like, but I do have, as I said, I have a few garments here that I can put. If I can put them on, then I know everything's okay. And if I can't, then I know, hey, get it together.
So are you really thinking a couple months more? Like get through the summer, like maybe September?
I think probably. I think, unless like I just New York to me is you go there and you interact with people.
Yeah.
And you're not avoiding people.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing of being in New York. So like if as long as there's an aspect of, first of all, not being able to work at all. Like
I know that's the worst part.
And then being suspicious of every human I come in contact with.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like a good time. Yeah.
I'm not. I figure I have, I'll probably be alive for a few more decades, and if this is just a few more months away from the greatest city on earth, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a
But
good thought.
I'm kind of thinking like, I don't know. I'm hearing, uh, like Dr. Fauci. Am I saying that
Fauci.
right?
Fauci.
Fauci
Fauci.
and some other Howard Stern's doctors. I can't remember his name.
Uh,
They're all saying like they think there'll be a vaccine this year.
yeah, by the end of the year. I know.
So
I'm hanging my hat on that one too.
yeah, so then I'm like, okay, so I'll go. I will get super ripped. I'll
Yeah.
bake a lot of bread,
Yeah.
which is not conducive to getting super ripped.
You
Eating a lot of
can,
bread.
especially the one
Can
I'm going to teach you how to make. Yeah, it's not bad for
okay.
you. It's not bad for you.
Um,
And
and
then we
then
meet up on New Year's Eve. How
oh,
great would that be?
that would be amazing. And I actually, not to tell tales out of, I don't know if is it telling tales out of school if you're talking about your own horrible behavior?
No,
I don't know, but
I don't think so. It depends if
I
you don't want people to hear it or not.
it's whatever. I'm a human being. I showed up. Not. I was gonna say I got really drunk at your New Year's gathering, but I showed up really drunk to your New Year's. I was already very drunk when I got there. It wasn't like, oh, I was overserved.
No.
I was drunk several hours before I showed up to your New Year's. So I was actually thinking about that very idea of like, oh, that could maybe happen again, and how great would that be? That is
Oh,
the end of this, and
yeah.
also a chance to maybe show that I can be a grown up at Tom's party, as I feel like in years past I have been a grown up, but I failed this year.
I think I think that's quite all right. I think the kids still tell the story of, oh, you mean that man who tried to take his pants off as the ball was coming down?
Oh my goodness.
It was great. But you were
Very.
a happy drunk. You're a mellow drunk. But you were hammered.
I was reduced to a pre-verbal man,
It
or
was
post-verbal, whatever.
it was like half verbal. You'd be like, you know what? I think we should.
I somehow have memories of walking the 40 blocks back to my apartment, which is only like 3 or 4 blocks away,
Yeah.
and where you're so drunk. And I have not been this drunk in many, many years, where
Right.
my knees were like locking up on me because I would step too far ahead to not be able to like walk, and I'd be like, oh, my knees locked.
There was concern. There was a certain point, like an hour after you left, someone said, "Did anyone walk him home?" I was like, "No, I'm sure he made it."
My guardian angel walked
Yeah.
me home.
Oh man. Well, I hope this all rushes along, and we can get back to jeans. That would and do live shows at the Comedy Cellar and sit up and have a nice ice
All of
cold
those
martini.
things.
Yeah, all those things. But I have to say, let's keep up the other aspect of it, which is, you opened my mind with the garlic olives, and if there's any other innovations that come up over the next couple of months,
I have a
please
few
share.
tricks up my sleeve.
Okay.
I don't know if I have it. I did buy. Do you know the Kier drink? It's basically white wine and blackberry liqueur. It's like a French aperitif.
No.
I wouldn't like rush out the door to do this, but you might try that one night.
What's the name of it?
It's just a Kier, K-I-R.
K-I-R. No.
It's blackberry liqueur and white wine. It's a bit dainty.
Yeah.
But it makes up for it in glamour.
All
So
right.
you're like the sophistication that's rubbing off on me by having that does not, it makes up for the fact that I'm having kind of a dainty sweet little drink right now.
That's the one thing I've really missed, and I was actually thinking of doing it at the house. This is the only place that we are drinking. Is putting on nice crisp suit and tie and coming up for cocktail hour. It's right, just to dress like a real grown up doing something in a really classy joint. It's a little I don't know how the family would take it, but I bet I would feel pretty good about it.
I think you should do it. I mean, I'm, as the people that don't know me won't mean much, but I am out here. I have one scarf, one, cravat, whatever you want to call it, and one brooch and one sport coat. So I have basically one sophisticated look. And
You're
one
like
dainty look.
You're
Unless
like
you count jumpsuits.
You're like the you're like the guys in New York who are like 80 years old and they're almost homeless. You're not sure if whether they live inside or out, but they still dress in that one suit they have. They still like tighten that tie and put in the cufflinks, and it looks all worn, but they're still pulling it off. But it's
yeah, exactly. You're like, I think that is a pee stain, but I'm gonna avert it's not just a pee stain. It's 40 years of pee stains.
Right. But he still cares enough to button up the buttons and look sharp.
Yeah, that's basically me.
Yeah,
that's me right now.
That's how we're gonna go out. Well, thanks so much, Dave. I really appreciate this. And,
thank you for having me.
I'm going to get your address and fix up this martini.
Oh, this is glorious.
Yeah, this is no way to live. I thought we were dealing with a tragedy. I had no idea how far-reaching it was.
No, it's sad.
All right, take care.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom.